Naruto's Baryon mode has finally appeared in the Boruto anime, and I'm really thankful to all the amazing animators who put the best of their efforts to animate this particular episode, because episode 217 was absolutely fabulous. But in spite of all of that, I just want to have a discussion in regards to Baryon mode today. In the past, I've already talked about the Baryon mode and I've explained what exactly it is going on there, especially for the manga videos. Here rather, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different, especially keeping in mind the context of the anime, because I feel like the anime has added some very interesting touches to Naruto's strongest form to date. So hello and welcome to Wonder WhyZ, and thank you so much for joining in. In this video, we are going to talk about Red Baryon mode and why it is absolutely brilliant in my opinion. But before that, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to our channel, since I do weekly anime and manga related content along with a bunch of other stuff. With that being said, let's just jump into it. Now initially when I saw it for the very first time in Boruto episode 216, I was a little conflicted, I'm not gonna lie here. I thought that why are they changing the absolute color scheme of this particular technique when in the manga it was established from the cover photograph that yes, this mode is actually more orangish in color. It's proper orange or scarlet color if you want to talk about. It's not even scarlet, it's orange or tangerine color if you want. Like that's a proper coloration or color grading which is used in the manga cover, as you can see here on the screen. But this is substantially different from its anime counterpart, and initially I and a lot of other people thought that okay, this is a little too on the nose and something which I was probably not expecting, especially some of the short angles were not really that impressive. But as I slowly got used to it, especially in episode 217, I thought that this was absolutely brilliant for a number of different reasons. Obviously, people have been able to make a couple of connections here and there, but I feel like there's absolutely more to all of these things, and it is really beautiful, and not just beautiful but rather beautifully haunting in a way. And let's just talk about it because I'm really excited about it. So first and foremost, people were obviously able to take out the reference that Baryon mode, especially in this particular shot, is reminding everyone of the Will of Fire. Now Naruto is the Hokage now, he's the 7th Hokage, so he is the spiritual successor or the person who is inheriting the Will of Fire. So that is the first reference and connection. This is a very direct one. I think this is something which most of the people were actually able to connect. But that's not essentially the main reason why Baryon mode is red in color. But rather I feel like this is more to give it a visual allegory or rather visual comparison to the original features of Kurama as a QB or rather as a tailed beast. And this obviously reminds me of the original Naruto vs Sasuke fight from the days of Naruto. Not Shippuden but rather original Naruto. Now here if we go back to this original fight, and I know that there are obviously a lot of references which are used in the Naruto vs Ishiki fight, but moving beyond that, if you notice Naruto here, he is for the very first time cloaked in proper Kurama Chakra, or rather at that moment we didn't really knew his name was Kurama, so Naruto was properly cloaked in the red QB Chakra. And later on we also got the explanation about this from Jiraiya about the red chakra and the blue chakra and the entire thing you know about it. So this is an obvious callback to the original red chakra of Kurama, and I feel like this is properly amplified here because we have to remember that Baryon mode is a very different mode. It is essentially acting like a sort of fusion drive where both Naruto as well as Kurama's chakra are being converted into a totally new material, and this is the energy which is being feeded to this Baryon mode, and this is literally sucking out the chakra of Kurama. Obviously Naruto is also at risk, but the bigger risk is for Kurama. And that's why it is properly able to amplify the red chakra of Kurama or the QB, and that is properly on display here, and that is being amplified here in the Baryon mode in the form of a red Baryon mode. Now granted, you are absolutely entitled to your own opinions. You can say that the manga did it better or the anime did it better. For me personally, the anime was actually better in this particular regard, but you can say that okay, you like the orange coloration more. I personally am not really a huge fan of Naruto's orange color shirt, so I feel like manga did it a little more service with the black shirt. But other than that, I feel like this red cloak, red chakra is really impressive, and it sort of amplifies the original roots of Kurama for something very special. Now, spoilers for those of you who have not read the manga, and this is not a huge spoiler by the way. This is obviously going to happen in the next episode, that is in episode 218. If you're watching this video right now, so spoilers for episode 218. If you are an anime only fan, please click off this particular section. So this red chakra also directly ties into Kurama's upcoming death. Now that is absolutely amplified and portrayed here on point in my opinion, because we manga readers already know that it's not actually Naruto who dies, but rather it is Kurama's death, which is going to happen because of the overuse of the Baryon mode. So this is the ending of the spoiler section for episode 218. Moving on. Now the other reference here is also something really which I enjoyed a lot, and that is a direct allegory to Might Guy's 8 gates. Now for sure, I'm not equating that Baryon mode is an equivalent to 8 gates, or it is comparable, or it is higher or lower. I'm not entering into the debates of the power levels here, but this is like a sort of visual allegory or a visual homage to the 8 gates. Probably one of the most hype moments in the entirety of Naruto Shippuden, and the entire fight against Madara from 8 Gate Sky was just brilliant. Let's just say it was brilliant, and this is definitely a callback or sort of an homage from the animators to that particular legendary scene. And it also makes a lot of sense because it is the Gate of Death, and we already know that Baryon mode is a very risky technique which is very deadly for the users as well. I already talked about it in the spoiler section, I'm not going to talk about it here. So these are the major references for the red Baryon mode. The anime is not explicitly going to tell you all why they use the red coloring, but I feel like this is the major reason why the red colorations was actually used here. I feel like this is a very good reason overall. The references, the homages, all of these things are actually very beautiful, to the point where it is actually beautifully haunting as well. Kurama's original red chakra, the Will of Fire, and especially 8 Gate Sky. All of these references were actually very on point. And lastly, talking about 8 Gate Sky, it is also sort of a reference to autumn and the falling leaves, which will give rise to the new leaves. The falling red leaf will give rise to the new leaf in the form of the newer generation, the Boruto's generation. This is sort of Naruto's parting homage to the people, and he is finally able to take down Ichigo Otsutsuki once and for all, and it's finally being done now. So that's done there. And lastly, just one small point, since we were touching upon autumn, what reminds you immediately about Japan's autumn season? It is obviously the red spider lily, or the Hibangana flower, which is the flower of death. If you are someone who's watching anime for a really long time, then I don't even need to give you all an explanation as to what this thing actually is. You're obviously well versed about it. But if you're someone who is not aware about these things, I'm going to leave some links in the description below. Go and read them. There are some really good references to it as to why it is called the red flower of death. So yeah, these are all the references for the red Baryon mode. What do you guys think about this particular form? Please do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more. In the meantime, be sure to join the channel membership for some very cool perks and features, and join our Discord server for more. See you all on the next one.